Hi everyone. So I thought I would discuss the current re-release of this book here. They're going to re-release the book with the same current cover that it's been having. Like, I'll put it right here. It's going to have that same cover, but what the book is going to lack is there's going to be a scene that some people deem problematic. The scene is going to be taken out. Now, me personally, it's not going to affect me because I have the book. So it's not going to affect me for that particular instance. But I have a problem with the overall thing because if the artist, that's what she is, the author, she's the artist. If she personally wants to change it, it's up to her. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's up to her, because she's the one that wrote that book. I think altering or erasing is bad. It's bad. It does not, it doesn't help. It doesn't help anything. So I will say, one, romance is an adult genre. You know, my videos are to talk about adult books. They're not meant for children. They're not meant for teenagers. This is definitely an 18 and over space. So this is why there is the young adult genre. You know, if you are a teenager or a pre-teenager, you should not be reading adult romance novels. Should be, your age range should be reading young adult, And if there are adults out there that don't like intimate scenes in romance novels, there is a thing called clean romance. They don't have any sex scenes in it. You could easily go to that if that's what you wanted to do. It's your prerogative. So I think that in the case of a book like this, where it was written 17 years ago, if the author decided to re-release this book and put a content warning at the beginning, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Same thing with this book here. There's a very problematic scene in this one. Now, if Julia Quinn decided she wanted to re-release these books, they've been re-released several times, re-release these books and put a content warning at the beginning, I wouldn't have a problem with that. No. What I take offense to and what I, have a problem with is when you erase it completely. Because then the story isn't going to make sense. And altering it is like basically the same thing. You're erasing it. So for me, I feel like erasing problematic or original content is essentially saying that we, as the reader, cannot mentally differentiate between fiction versus reality. I don't know about you, but I know the difference between fiction and reality. Same thing with, like, I can read a dark romance novel and I know the difference between, that. Certain things that I could read, I may not agree with when it comes to reality. I may be like, that person's problematic, that person's toxic, you don't want to date that person. But in a romance novel, it's fantasy, it's in a sense fantasy. So that annoys me. So to me, I said allowing cancel culture, which is a small group of people, let's be real here, it's a small group of people, to dictate what the majority can consume is censorship. That's what it is. Plain and simple, it's censorship. That's what you're trying to do. So for me, I don't agree with censorship because where does it end? This is why I think, you have a whole rating system in place. If they want to, why don't you go and rate romance novels? You could put a little thing right at the bottom here that shows a rating system. If that's what you want to do. If you're like, well, this isn't appropriate for teenagers to read. Okay, then put a freaking rating on it. But to go and completely take it out, no, I don't agree with that. to censor something because you don't like it. So we have rating systems in place. I'm pretty sure it started off with movies. Like, there used to be a time when X-rated movies could be in certain movie theaters. You don't see that nowadays because it pretty much was like universally agreed that, put that somewhere else, So this is where it went out into, instead of it being in the theaters, it went out to, like, put on VHS when VHS was still a thing. You had VHS tapes, and then they turned into CDs, or DVDs now. Now it's like you could purchase them on DVD, or you could go and look at content for free on, websites. There's certain websites out there that let you see X-rated stuff for free. So if you want to do that, you have the freedom to do that. Nobody's censoring it. They just moved it somewhere else. So same thing with, they went after video games. Groups tried to cancel video games because they're too violent. This is why there's rating systems on them. This is why E is for everybody. You have different rating systems on the side that shows it right there on the freaking cover, the rating system. Same thing with music. You have explicit content. Back in the day, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but back in the 80s, yeah, I think it was around the 80s. There might have been the end of the 80s, around there. Senator Al Gore, when he was a senator, him and his wife, was it Tipper? They wanted to basically ban certain music that they felt was distasteful. So you had artists like Frank Zappa, John Denver, who is the most milquetoast type of singer there is. He didn't sing anything terrible, but he went and defended his fellow artists. Give respect for that. And Dee Snider. You can go on YouTube and watch, what was it, the FTC or FCC, whatever it was, where they were having conversations and they were saying, hey, if you banned this, it's a form of censorship and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. They made really great arguments. All of them made really great arguments. You can sit there and listen to the hearings. Dee Snider made a really great argument for it. And it caused the, basically the FTC, I don't know, I can't remember. I'll have to put it right here, whatever it is. It caused them to put a rating system on music. So, explicit content. Now it's like, if you put something explicit content, people are like, ooh, you kind of flock to it even more because you're like, what does this person say that's considered explicit, So now it's like, it kind of backfired on them. And so it's just funny how it went down, and props to those artists that, challenged the system. Good for them. And so for me, this is why I don't agree with censorship for anything, because everybody has a right to listen to read whatever they want. We have free speech in this country. I live in America, free speech. So I have a right to listen to whatever I want to. I have a right to consume whatever I want to. I have a right to read whatever I want to without censorship. Because we don't live in 1984. We don't live in that time. I don't want to live in that time. So for me, I feel like cancel culture has been going after historical romances for a while. Oh, I've seen the hate. Historical romance gets the most hate I've ever seen in a subgenre. So people shaming others. Stop shaming people for who or what they read. Stop it. So this is why we've been seeing romance novels like recovered lately, or they come out with like a cartoon cover, and it just totally takes away the whole how covers used to be, you know. I don't like the modern ones. Like, for instance, there's a Tessa Dare one. The original I'll put up right here. And then I'll show you the re-image. You know, the new one. I don't like the new one. I don't like it. It's just boring. It's boring. Is that going to entice me to read the book? No. No, it's not. But you go and give me the other cover, I'd be like, ooh, what's this about? And I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to read the synopsis, and I'm going to be like, ooh, this sounds good. I'm going to check this book out. And can I say, this book here has one of the prettiest step backs. Definitely one of the prettiest step backs I've seen. I've seen really pretty step backs. This is definitely in a top favorite of mine, is the step back. I'll show it right here. I love that step back. It's so pretty. I love purple. So to me, it's like redoing it just, no. Ugh. I'm like, if the author wants to do that, fine. That's her choice. But let me covet the other one. I prefer the other one. So yeah, for me, I don't like it. And then also I've been seeing like historical romances being modernized nowadays to where the women like have more like agency and more like, you know, they're more feministic. And I'm just like, no. I mean, look, women back in history until a certain point, they didn't have the agency that they do now. You know, they didn't have the right to vote. You know, they were basically like a second-class citizen, you know? So I realize from history, women were not treated very well. You know, we were treated horribly. But I can also go and look at a romance, look at historical, and see like, okay, this isn't reality. This is a fantasy that is supposed to take place in this particular time. So for me, I don't get like mad if the woman is like forced to marry the guy because they were caught in a tryst. They were caught in a compromising situation. I don't have a problem with that. I can kind of suspend reality. If you don't like that, if you don't like that women do not have that agency during that time, don't read historical romance. It's as simple as that. Don't read the subgenre. Read something else. Read contemporary. Read alien sci-fi romance. I don't care. But don't go and crap on the genre because you don't like it. There's other people who enjoy that, who like that. Historical romances are my first love. That's what got me into reading romance novels, is historicals. So, I mean, you're crapping all over it. So, yeah. To me, this is a steep downward spiral. If this continues, if this happens, and then something else happens, if, say, they decide to go into this book and censor things out of it because they don't deem that to be appropriate, then the next thing they're going to do is they're going to go into these books. They're going to go into those books. They're going to go into all these other books. They're going to go into them, and they're going to erase what was originally there. They're going to censor what was originally there. And what's going to happen is it's causing, what I think it might be causing, writers today, current writers, to literally walk on eggshells. They now have to change around their content, their writing, because they don't want to get quote-unquote canceled. You know? And what's going to do is it's going to cause future writers to stay in that space so they don't get canceled. And then it's going to create boring books that you don't want to read. That's what's going to do. It's going to create books you don't want to read because they don't challenge you. They don't challenge the reader. So more people, I think, are going to turn away from books. And the whole book industry, gone. That's what I think is going to happen. If we keep allowing cancel culture, censorship to mess with our fictional books, That's what's going to happen. And now one person, I watched this one video and I didn't agree with this person's video, but the comment she got on the video, I love it. Love it. So this person was basically making a comment on, you know, this person talking about cancel culture and all that stuff. So she said, I feel like the only true solution to what you're bringing up is to stop recommending altogether. Stop being influencers. Stop trying to make your living giving non-stop advice, even more so when it comes to works of art, as they are fluid for a reason. I bet if we look back or could truly see into the lives of every single person on the planet, we could uncover something problematic. That doesn't mean we should cancel them or the works they produce. Those works could inspire change for the positive, lend us insights to a world we know nothing about. They can teach us how to behave for the better, be open to changes and opinions. They can teach us we aren't alone. They can teach us to inspire and create. Oftentimes, the people doing the creating are troubled. There are skeletons everywhere someone is willing to dig. Does that mean we throw up our hands? Does that mean we start burning books? Does that mean we cleanse and monitor what is out there to the point of sterilization? I don't think so. You are correct in saying we should stop promoting. Stop promoting everything so you don't earn money from them earning money. Let's take a step back. Let's join together as book lovers that can tell people the important things the novel can teach us as a society. Let's acknowledge the piece of work, acknowledge its beauty and also its flaws. It's okay that something has flaws. That's how we grow. And I want to keep growing. I want the people on this earth to keep growing, hopefully towards unity, acceptance, towards something better and less hateful. The goal is not to stifle. And although plenty of my most beloved authors, books, movies, music, art itself may be deemed problematic, there is beauty to be found in it. I won't be condemning anyone and I won't be condoning their behavior, but I won't be stopped from reading and applauding truly great works of art. I won't be a part of a cancel culture that thinks it's okay to erase, not acknowledge, and sterilize everything for everyone else. With those actions, we allow history to repeat itself. And can I say to this woman that wrote that comment, thank you. Thank you. That is perfectly said. Perfectly said. This is why I don't agree with cancel culture. This is why I don't agree with censoring. Where does it stop? So the person who made the video had responded to this person's comment and they felt like they were being attacked. Typical. Especially if you're young in your 20s, you feel like you're being attacked. Stop. So the commenter responded and said it wasn't a personal attack. It was just a generalization for our current culture. You are an influencer. You have a channel. You most likely have multiple social media accounts. Maybe you don't have as many subs, but you have them. But we have so many. So many people who are out there trying to get a dime off of being influencers, but in a world of cancel culture and a world of opinions, by the second the same people trying to make that dime by sharing an opinion have to now become cancel people because they don't want to be called out for condoning someone's bad behavior by purchasing or recommending something they made. We don't have to love the artist, just the art. The same as our parents don't have to love our actions, but just love us. Thank you. Thank you. I totally agree with those comments. Yes. And I think that just because I make these opinions and the things I say in here that I don't think are right, If somebody else has a counter argument to my argument, please state so in the comments below. I am fine with having civil discourse with people. And that's the thing. I don't want people arguing with me. I don't want people calling me names because I don't agree with them. You don't agree with me? That's fine. You can disagree. That's life. You can disagree. And you can tell me so in the comment section. Only time I delete comments if somebody's being hateful toward me, like if they're calling me a fat pig or something, or just saying I'm ugly or whatever it is. I'll delete that. But anything else, if somebody's forming any kind of discourse with me, I don't delete it. YouTube will probably delete it because they've been cracking down lately on comments, but, you know, please have a discourse with me. Or if not, if you don't want to do it in the comment section of this video, you could easily DM me on my Instagram. You know, Brandy Reads Romance. I will put it right there. You can look down in my description. I have a link that you can click on, that you can go, and it'll lead you to my Instagram. And if you want to go and have a private conversation about cancel culture and censorship, please do so. I have no problem with having conversations with people. But yeah, that's it for this video here. I just wanted to make this video because I just was really mad and annoyed when I saw that. And it just frustrates me because when does it stop? When does this stop? It's just ridiculous. So anyways, that's it for this video. Have yourselves a good day. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other. Be safe out there. And I will see you all on the next video. All right. Bye.